I tuned in for a few seconds. It was great to watch. But
I would back Kiver
anytime ever.
Yeah, anytime ever. But even if he only got to see like 5 pixels, I think he'd have it.
I agree. Let's see what they're going to be able to do here today. So we do have a Kenta undercover and a Sorella?
Yes, the Sorella Splatbrella. That is one that has not been seen too many times. I think it's still a very good weapon. Certainly can paint a lot. Maybe not quite as useful in terms of team play as, say, an undercover would have been. But Jet actually is a player who I have seen. I saw Jet a long time ago. Had no idea he was on Puffer Puffers now. A very good Charger player, but clearly has changed up roles a bit.
Sometimes that's all you need. If you have a player that can flex appropriately to be able to help you, I think that is kind of where you're at and exactly what the team is going to work for here.
Yes.
And here, exactly, you were absolutely right about Izzy being a Swiffer.
I play a fair bit of solo queue, if I may toot my own horn. Whether that's for my own sanity or not, who knows?
But Izzy doing a good job here just to be a little bit of a distraction, because if Izzy is over there, then Global Breakout needs to pay attention to where they are, and they can't quite go after this tower that's moving pretty quickly.
And Muty just does not have the ink right now to find his Stingray, which would really help stop this push. But it's not quite happening yet. And they still may be able to get a few more points off of this push. Armor coming out, though, for Global Breakout should help them be able to push back in and stop everything.
But Izzy's ball coming out is going to put a little bit of pressure on Umbre and everyone else who's on that plat over there. Oh, Umbre off to the left, sorry. And it doesn't quite look like it. Izzy does get taken out soon after that ball goes down. Cosmic just, gets found out. I thought they were going to be sharking there.
Yeah. Both teams actually going with Tetras. Tetradualies.
Tetradualies.
It hasn't been as popular recently, but I still think ever since it came out, having that 4-roll factor makes it one of the strongest dualies.
I can't agree more. I think that it's also one of the fastest weapons that you can run.
Yes.
And if speed is what you're going for, it's really what you want to play. So we'll see if Global Breakout is going to be able to get back onto this checkpoint.
A good trade coming there from Izzy. That may prevent Global Breakout from getting the break here, as Blanket able to get a nice kill from Bridge. And, ooh, I was about to say stay alive. I don't know if that's a pre-commentator curse or if that's just the way it goes.
Izzy gets called out by that Stingray, so that's going to be pretty tough. But Umbre on this tower right now, popping that armor to make sure that they can help their teammates stay alive as long as possible, and they take the lead.
And they break the checkpoint, and that is 3 solid steps in getting the knockout, and it looks like they may be able to do that with one player kind of trapped in close. Izzy, nice kill there, but will it be enough to get back to tower in time, or will Umbre be able to cheese it? Not quite. Very close. Dancing around on tower. One of the most fun and effective strats to just get those necessary points.
If you can stay alive, even if it's just by the hair of your chin, that is the way to do it right there, and that's exactly what Umbre did. But Izzy getting that baller and getting that pick on Cosmic is going to be very helpful here, even if they are 2 down on the side of Tougher Puffers. Global Breakout has a pretty commanding lead at 2, but it's not unheard of that I have seen this turn around.
It's not, but this is definitely a map where Global Breakout could basically just hold out their close and make sure that Muty stays safe with the Stingray should anything go wrong. And then they can basically just defend. That said, they're not sitting back and just letting map control go. They are pushing for what has to essentially be a knockout if they want to add on to this push.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful shot by Izzy over here. Just getting as many picks as possible, and there are 3 specials up on Global Breakout.
They
I think
have the counter ray ready, so it may come. It usually comes down to the battle of the rays on tower control.
But maybe if Izzy can take out that ray, I think. Oh, the jump came before Izzy got there.
Muty smartly jumps out before any harm can come. There's no point in challenging it at that.
No.
with this little time, having a Stingray up your sleeve is more than enough.
It certainly is. And this is really all that Global Breakout needed here. It's just a matter of if Tougher Puffers can hold this down. A blanket. No. Oh, the Stingray and the missiles make it just the perfect opportunity for that player in Global Breakout to hop on that tower and call that game.
10 missiles right around a checkpoint. That's tough to avoid.
10 missiles in general, tough to
yes.
avoid.
And all the while, Stingray on tower, it's a difficult task.
It certainly is. But I think that they played pretty well, and they certainly held their own against Global Breakout, who is, if I'm correct, the top seed within this
I actually believe that they're the second seed, but they're a very strong second seed.
Yes, they are.
In fact, I think when the statistics came up showing their names, I think they were the number 9.
Oh, yeah, because we watched Azure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And number 9, that means that they are the best 2 seed, or at least the highest rated 2 seed. So trying to make a case for number 1, possibly.
I could see it happen. I mean, you know, we've seen all of these players in other tournaments do really well. Global Breakout has been in, you know, top 8 in plenty of tournaments before,
yes.
and I could see it happening again. But there's such good competition here today. I mean, there's a moment where I see every team in top 8 at some point.
I was talking to Tic Tac and Dreas earlier of Tic Tac is teaming up with Demise and Dreas obviously of Deep Blues. We were considering who's the top 1 seed. I think all teams have a good chance of winning it all.
Yeah.
There's no outright favor right now. You might argue, just based on experience, for Keo, Toon, Power, and Penguin.
Yeah.
But Demise, obviously, always in with a shout because of what Zero can do. Deep Blue is very well organized, low-key. I'm not entirely sure who they brought to this tournament, but obviously, very good team. Went to PAX and came second, just barely missing out behind FT Win. A lot of great teams here. All of them have a chance, I'd say. And
they certainly do.
There's quite a few who I did not get to mention, but
either way, I think we will. I certainly think we will. And this game, though, I am so excited for. Clan Blitz is my favorite mode, as many people are aware, and Manta Maria is such a fun map to be able to watch this on.
It's a very interesting one. If you can take control of Bunker for the other team, it's difficult to end a push, as I found out, especially against a heavy like Blanket is running right now. This could be the best option, although Muty switching over to Ballpoint.
I think the Ballpoint is a pretty good pick for Muty here, because it's going to give the range and that power, and already double, triple.
I think your words came at a very good time. Getting
really
the
nice
2 kills,
job.
1 assist, and rounding off that wipe by chucking in a football, starting off a push, and we're not quite sure when it'll end. They have 16 clams right now. But Cosmic able to get in another 5?
I think they just didn't realize Cosmic was there.
I think so. If they had known and they had seen that, they probably would have ended it at 80.
I think they could have, if they had just found out Cosmic for 1 second, taken him out. But 65 isn't such a huge lead.
No, it's not. And that is a filthy direct, jumping direct from Cosmic, who follows it up with possibly 3? Not quite. Blanket staying alive there with the Booyah Bump might be what prevents Global Breakout from pushing in and getting an unbeatable lead here.
Is he trying to wait around for someone to come up here? Because I'm pretty sure they are aware of everything that's about to happen right now. That rain coming out is really going to help paint some of the rest of this map here. And Izzy decides to pop this ball in a little bit of an awkward situation to me.
Yeah. It was I think at the time they had a more aggressive intention with where they were going. But once they saw that person flanking up to their top right, they knew that they had to get back in time. I would have preferred to see them relay that information and let the teammates take it out while pressuring the 2 football carriers there.
I agree with you there.
But Izzy, I've been very impressed with. His shots are outstanding.
And you had called that from the beginning that, you know, Izzy is someone you've seen in solo queue, playing Squiffer a lot. And, you know, you have to have a lot of patience when you play a charger.
Yes.
As you well know.
Yes. Just don't miss.
That's that easy.
if everyone could do it.
Yes, exactly. But Muty and Umbre over here. Umbre has a power climb at the ready. Muty ready to support him as well here.
Looks like they're just waiting for one teammate to push in. Might have gotten it close enough. Yeah, I think that'll definitely get them a few more points here. And there's more clams to be had.
One of the very interesting things here, and why I like watching this map so much, is how close some of the power clams spawn to the basket.
Yes.
So you can very, very easily say, okay, we have no more clams, but they're right there. Speaking of right there, not quite close enough. Another power clam was kind of coming towards the basket, didn't quite make it in time. And Izzy is going to take out that holder before they're able to get anywhere.
A good baller pop as well, saving Izzy from... I'm kind of shocked that that baller didn't kill there. It looked like Muty had dropped kind of just a little bit too close, but I guess they had shredded just enough off that baller to not make it lethal.
2 power clams at the ready for Tougher Puffers, and Medic decides to kind of pass this off a little bit just to get some of the attention away from them.
And I believe they have 3 now.
They do have 3.
But one person going down, did they get the jump in? Ooh.
No.
That might have been a messed up input. It seemed like they jumped to someone in mid when maybe they meant to jump to someone under basket. Not sure if they got quite far enough in for that. But that's difficult, losing 3 footballs like that.
It's always hard on LAN as well, as I was talking about earlier too. To get that jump successfully, you really have to be aware that no one is around you.
Yes.
You can't just go for it as you can when you're playing online, because you just don't have those same timing options.
It's true. And obviously, with this being competitive and voice chat, you're going to get called out very quickly. If they see someone jumping in, they may even say specifically, go pressure the person with the football. Don't allow them to get the jump. It's a counter that is becoming more and more popular because as difficult as it is to stop the baller who comes in, it can be just a little bit easier to just not allow the jump to get off.
I agree. I think it's just a matter of what you want to kind of go for here. And it looks like at this point, even though Tougher Puffers do have 1 power climb at the ready,
they only have blanket up. It's a 2v1 situation, and there's just no map control to get over there.
They're so far in the back, too. They don't have enough time to get back over to that basket.
And Axel knows that they just have to stall, and that's game.
And there we go.
As long as overtime can be in clams, it's a near impossible task to make it through mid like that.
I think they still played pretty well there. You know, they just kind of had a few missteps, a little bit every so often.
And that's all it takes in clams too. Is it's a very punishing mode if you were to miss your footballs or if you were to not get that jump in just at the right moment. It can be losing out on 20, 30, 50 points.
It certainly can. And when you have someone like Muty right here, very early on, they're able to get that, you know, that wipe.
Yeah.
And there was just no retaliation coming over here. And that was, even just, they only got those 80 points plus a few extra. It
takes a lot of pressure off of the team in the lead as well to get that type of early lead. You know, when you know that essentially you just have to not mess up, don't make awful mistakes, just don't get wiped, then it becomes a lot easier to play your match, not worry too much about allowing a score. Whereas a close match, you know, maybe if Tougher Puffers hadn't totally wiped at the start and allowed that initial, whatever it was, 32-ish points, maybe they're able to just kind of hang in there, feel their way into the match, and make it a closer match. I said match quite a few times there.
That's okay. I've done that pretty often. But it seems like at this point we're going to be going into Splat Zones on Humpback Pump Track in just a few minutes here. And I'm not sure. What are you thinking about this one? just a few seconds, sorry. What do you think about this one? We saw Humpback Pump Track earlier.
Yes.
And seeing it on zones...
It's probably right up there for classic matches, as is Inkblot. I'd say is probably the second most popular for Splat zones. I think the Tenta, or sorry, not the Tenta, but the Sorella Splatbrella could do very well here. Obviously, Azabrella paints well, but that Bomb Rush could be very useful in whether it's taking back zone or taking more control and pushing into spawn. That is truly the key to winning this map, is to get control in the other team's spawn, trying to jump over to the grates on right and just continue pressure.
I can't, as you said match a lot. I can't agree with you more over and over today. And
well, that just means we're on the same page.
We certainly are. And I think right now, something I really want to talk about is having this custom Hydra.
It's not one that we've seen as much. I feel like it could be a comfort thing in terms of they just weren't sure if Global Breakout would be running a Charger. Obviously, Charger, more of the traditional counter to Hydra, limits what it can do, but without clear signs that Muty would switch back over, the Hydra might be able to beat out, well, it's a remix now, but they could have been expecting a ballpoint.
They certainly could have. I think the Hydra is really nice because it has so much range here.
Yes.
And it's going to be able to get in that snipe position and just continuously not only cover zone, but get almost over to the other team's snipe.
And if there's one thing that makes the Tetradoys even stronger, it's an armor. Because not only can you roll in 4 times, you get a few extra vulnerability hits. And that can be the difference between a trade or a triple.
It's very true. It can just, even if you're the last one alive, it can be the difference of a trade or staying up enough time for your teammates to jump to you.
And some nice sloshes there by Umbre. Not quite able to get the double. But they have now gotten control, and what should be lead, just barely. Can they hold? Yes, they can. I thought the baller there might have taken back zone. But this could start to run away a little bit. Global Breakout has quite a bit of control. Izzy knows that they need that zone. And thankfully the dualies came in.
That's one of my favorite things right there. Watching Izzy use those tap shots to paint the zone, of watching kind of a Charger player paint zone when you're in that position. I absolutely love that because it shows that you're paying attention to the objective.
Yes. And Squiffer paints surprisingly well for a Charger. Not too many people are aware of its painting potential, but with just a few subs of main power-up, that really spreads it out. I'm not sure if Izzy is running. I'd be surprised if they weren't.
I would too.
But all the same, it's good play, and it did at least stall for a little bit, which could be enough, but we do start to see Global Breakout rack up a few more points, and Umbre pushing in.
This is kind of what Umbre is really good at, being the aggressor, making sure that he's in your face and that you can't get away. And go ahead.
And yet you still see the patience and his spacing being on point there. Knew he didn't really have to push in, didn't have to get a kill. He just had to take away the attention from the objective. And as a result, they've pushed down to 2. Tougher Puffers still being able to get the cap and delay this match a little bit more. Hopefully they'll be able to get some points on the board.
I think Tougher Puffers can do it. They just need to be so careful. Right there, that is a shot that's really going to help them here because Jet is able to kind of come in. If they can lose some of the pressure that they have on them here because they do have 2, 3.
It's a lot of pressure.
They were a good distraction,
they were.
at least.
And it was good play there initially. It's just unfortunate that Jet's teammates happened to go 3 down in that time, which allowed Global Breakout to go 3v1.
Global Breakout is ticking down this penalty pretty quickly. And, you know, as they did push it to 2, all they need to do is hold onto it for a little bit of time here.
Another 5 seconds, and they have the knockout. But is he not quite able to use that baller on zone?
Ooh.
Doesn't matter, though.
Nice job. They're going to go into overtime, though, as they hold on to this. So it's going to be very, very difficult for Tougher Puffers to be able to take this. They don't have quite enough time to do it. And now with that extra penalty on them.
And it's a delayed wipe as well. So we see Izzy not quite pushing in. That's an aggressive drop. I would not have gone for that. You still have time. Get 1 or 2 specials and then try to get that last push. But they still might, with the bomb rush. Oh,
ooh, beautiful
Cosmic.
double.
Just a lovely shark, and that will do it.
Certainly will. Jet being the last one alive there just had too much to pay attention to with the other team around them.
Just not quite enough synergy between Jet using his Brella and maybe either the dualies or the Squiffer playing off of him, establishing a bit more pressure on Global Breakout. Would have loved to see a little bit more teamwork there, but still, very good play. And Tougher Puffers should hold their heads high. Global Breakout, very good team.
Absolutely.
And they played alongside them for a good chunk of all of these matches.
They did a really great job against Global Breakout here. And as you said, they're a very tough team, and they're a high seed within their group.
Yes.
So I think that Tougher Puffers have nothing to be sad about here.
100% agree with you, yes.
So, and maybe we'll see them, we'll definitely see them, I believe, in silver because they did go 2-1. So that's great, and I'm sure we'll see them on stream again at some point.
I'm looking forward to it because Izzy's squiffing, just some beautiful work.
Very, very beautiful indeed. And with that, I do believe we are going to be waiting for top 24. Plenty of people congregating around the TO desk waiting for this final announcement. And yeah, I can't